Yo, I binged the shit out of it yesterday until I had to go to work. I had to go to work at 5 o'clock, so I binged it till then. And then I'm like rushing to hurry to get through my damn shift just so I can come home and finish it. And I would have finished it last night, but then I started drinking. So by episode 5, yo, the alcohol kicked in, and I was out for the count. Like, next thing you know, I'm looking like the motherfuckers in the show that can't wake up. Alright, y'all. So this weekend, I finally saw how big of a nerd that I am because I was texting my father. Right? My father texted me Friday night while I was working. He said, "Son, what you got going on this weekend?" I said, "Well, just working and binging Stranger Things, the new season." He says, "Sounds fun." I said, "Okay." I can feel the sarcasm through the text message, right? So I said, "Pop, what you got going on?" And he says, "Well, going out dancing tonight." And after that, I think he said, yeah, he got invited to a barbecue the next day, then something else. I'm like, all right, that sounds a lot like fun. He's like, "Yeah, it is, man. Like, you should try some time." So my father thinks that I don't get out enough. He thinks that, I watch too many movies and stuff, and which I probably do. But you know what? When you like really doing something, you do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, listen, I'm not the biggest social motherfucker in the world. Like, I don't like clubs. I don't like bars and shit. But every now and then I'll make a cameo and go out somewhere. Shit. I just took the kids to this like amusement park thingamajig on Thursday. Okay, so it's not like I'm a fucking hermit 24/7. But I love pop culture. I love movies. I love shows. That's why I started my YouTube channel. I'm a nerd and proud. With that being said, y'all, this was a fucking awesome ass weekend, man. This shit failed to disappoint. So I've been looking forward to this weekend forever because I'm like, yo, Maverick drops Thursday, then Stranger Things, and Obi-Wan. All three of them fucking delivered. The one I was most nervous about was Stranger Things because it was like, what, 2 or 3 years? I think 3 years since the last season, which I did not go back and rewatch because I knew they were going to do a recap on it to kind of refresh my remember, you know what I mean? So I didn't go back and rewatching that last season, but I was more nervous about that. I was somewhat nervous for Obi-Wan, but I'm like, you know what, at the end of the day, man, even some Star Wars fans are really hard to please. Star Wars is going to get shit on regardless, you know what I'm saying? Well, I reviewed Maverick first, okay? So Maverick, you know how I felt about that. Fucking love that joint, man. By the way, no spoilers on none of this shit. Alright, so I ain't spoiling nothing, just in case I ain't watch it. So for Maverick, after that, priority, Obi-Wan. I'm sorry. I'm more of a Star Wars fan. I'm more of a Obi-Wan fan, even though I made a video called Obi-Wan Ain't Shit. But I'm more of a Star Wars fan than I am Stranger Things. So Star Wars was top priority. I watched Obi-Wan. First episode, that opening, the recap for Revenge of the Sith and Attack of the Clones and Phantom Menace gave me goosebumps. I got chills watching. I said, oh, like almost got teary-eyed. As many times as I've seen the prequels, just the way they put it together to get us ready for this show had me I was teary-eyed. I'm like, yes, okay, here we go. And man, that first episode fucking came through. Ewan McGregor owns the role of Obi-Wan. Respect to Alec Guinness. He was the first. He was the OG. But yo, Ewan McGregor is Obi-Wan Kenobi. All right, so just to give you a brief synopsis, so this takes place 10 years after the events of Revenge of the Sith. So Obi-Wan now is living as a hermit on Tatooine, looking after Luke Skywalker, but he no longer lives the Jedi lifestyle. He's just a regular working class man, does the same hamster shit every day, the hamster wheel every day. Work, go home, eat, repeat. Work, go home, eat, repeat. All that shit, right? But then, of course, it's Star Wars, so something happens to kind of throw that off a little bit. Now he's thrust into action, and he has to become Obi-Wan again, all right? And there are these Jedi hunters called Inquisitors, which was introduced in Rebels. So if you haven't seen Star Wars Rebels, check that out. So these Inquisitors work for Vader, all right? And their job is to hunt down the last of the Jedi, even though they were supposed to get killed during Order 66. But there's still some remnants out there. There's still some Jedi sprinkled out there a little bit, and they have to find them and destroy them, kill them. All right. And one Inquisitor in particular, of course, the angry black woman, she's hell-bent on getting Obi-Wan, which I'm sure they're going to explain later on. So that's all I'm going to give you. Now you have to go watch it, okay? So hopefully my synopsis breakdown gets you excited to go watch this if you haven't seen it yet. All right, so the first episode delivered. The second episode, not as strong, but still, I'm all in. I'm ready for this rematch that they've been hyping up for the longest, the rematch between Vader and Obi-Wan. You know what I'm saying? They had the Star Wars panel this weekend. My boy Anthony A. Perez went, and he gave us a lot of videos, a lot of pictures. And so Hayden and Ewan McGregor showed up together. All right, so we're gonna see that rematch, and I'm waiting. You know what I'm saying? Like, oof, pumped for this, man. Like, I haven't been this excited about a fight since Mike Tyson. All right, so let's go. Even though we know the outcome because they meet again in New Hope, so we know nobody's gonna get killed. But let's just see who gets the better, of who this time. Obi-Wan, he won the last time, so let's see if Vader can come through and make Obi-Wan sweat a little bit more. And now we get to Stranger Things Part 1. So Part 1 is 7 episodes, and then the last 2 episodes are July 1st. All right, so those last episodes, I think both of them are gonna be like 2 hours. And man, I gotta put some respect on Stranger Things' name, man. It's been a few years. I kind of forgot about them, but listen. Yo, they back with a vengeance. This season came through, and I heard of some complaints to my, the overacting by the kids and like the bullying was way over the top. But what you gotta realize is that this show is a homage to the 80s, okay? It takes place in the 80s, and it pays homage to the 80s. And if you watch any movie in the 80s that had to do with bullying, the bullying was always way over the top. You look at Back to the Future and the Karate Kid and stuff like that. The bullying was always just really exaggerated, and that's what they captured. So they capture the spirit of the 80s in this show. So that explains some of the overacting and some of the cheesiness of it, you know what I'm saying? But then when shit gets real, it gets fucking real, all right? It gets as real as a $2 bill, all right? They don't play around. I think this is probably the darkest season I've ever seen. Now, I got to go back and watch the other ones, and I can't even say that this is better than the other seasons, but I think it's definitely darker, especially with the horror now. Like, there was times, I was getting, like I said, I'm not spoiling y'all, but I was getting Nightmare on Elm Street vibes here, y'all. This is, like, some stuff was almost, like, ripped straight out of Nightmare on Elm Street 1 and 3. And even some of a little bit of 4 in there. It does get really dark. Horror was on point. You could tell that they had a big budget with this, man. Yo, Netflix they rolled the dice, and I don't know if that was the right gesture, but they rolled the dice. They put everything on the line, y'all. We might lose subscribers. We have to go up on the price, whatever. But we're gambling everything on Stranger Things. And I think the gamble's going to pay off. I think this is going to be one of the most watched shows in Netflix history. Well, this season is going to be one of the most watched seasons in Netflix history. Because, I binged the shit out of it yesterday until I had to go to work. I had to go to work at 5 o'clock, so I binged it till then. And then I'm like rushing to her to get through my damn shift just so I can come home and finish it. And I would have finished it last night, but then I started drinking. So by episode 5, the alcohol kicked in, and I was out for the count. Like, next thing you know, I'm looking like the motherfuckers in the show that can't wake up. That's a little mild one, all right? That's all I'm going to give you. After I wake up from my drunken slumber, I get up, get right back in the recliner, started off, finished episode 7 today, and man, what a ride, what a blast. The kids didn't miss a beat. They're all older now, but you still love them. They're still as charismatic and lovable as they've always been. A little bit more mature theme situations here because they are older. You know what I'm saying? As far as their relationships go, Millie Bobby Brown as Elle, as always, kills it. And man, you do feel sorry for her. At one point you do really feel bad for her. Like, oh, poor Elle. I just want to give you a hug and just, damn, I wish you had your powers again so you could fuck these people up, man. Poor Elle, poor baby. You know what I'm saying? Because, that's spoiler for last season, okay? She lost her powers, damn it, last season, okay? So shut up. I ain't spoiled nothing this season already. Goddamn. All I can hear is my cousin's voice in my head. They go shout spoiling shit again. Listen, all I can do with my cousin now, all I have to do is say, shout out, the show was good. Up, there you go, spoiling. What the fuck did I spoil? The soundtrack, I gotta get the soundtrack, y'all. I love the 80s. There was some jams in here where I was like, oh shit, Rock Me Amadeus. The creature effects, crazy. All right, for once, for the first time in a long ass time, they actually created a creature that was memorable, that I'm going to remember, that I think is gonna be iconic. The design of him, the look of him, you can tell a lot of money went into this shit, man. Like I said, Netflix, they rolled the dice, they put money in this motherfucker, and you can see it all in there, and man, paid off. Gripes, okay, one gripe I have, because there's 4 or 5 different situations going on at one time, right? And one of them has to do with finding Harbor, because spoiler, last season, Harbor did survive. So now Winona Ryder and that crazy motherfucker that's with her, the guy with the glasses and the beard, he has to help her find him, right? So that whole thing about them finding Harbor, to me, it just, I know it's necessary because it has to do with the plot and everything, but I didn't care about it. You know what I'm saying? I just didn't care. Like, okay, well, let's get back to the Nightmare on Elm Street type shit. I don't really care about this. So without giving any more away, Stranger Things Season 4, as of right now, Part 1, gets a solid A. Not much I can complain about it. It had me engaged. I didn't fall asleep not one time. I was in it. couple of times I got creeped out, you know what I'm saying? So it came through with the horror, came through with the 80s cheese, came through with the nostalgia, came through with the laughs. So yo, hey, is what I give it. Can't wait for July the 1st. That's it and that's all. So Obi-Wan delivered. Maverick delivered. Stranger Things delivered. I'm a happy black man this weekend, y'all. I'm a happy black man. That's it and that's all. So yo, what you think about Stranger Things, Obi-Wan, Maverick? Did you watch all three of them? Or if not, you know, whatever. Comment below, let me know. And if you like and dig this content, hit that like and subscribe notification bell in the corner. This is Rashad G signing out. See you in the next video.